bringing you the latest news, game updates, insights, highlights, and everything Liberty Hockey. This is Rock the Rink, where Liberty Hockey lives.
Welcome back into the Rock the Rink podcast here on the campus of Liberty University. All 5 teams are rolling. We had some big road trips over the weekend. We're going to get into all of that. But first, this podcast is brought to you by the Virginia Army National Guard. The next greatest generation is now, and it begins with you. Get a head start on your career in exciting fields like science, communications, engineering, and medicine, along with tuition assistance in the Virginia National Guard. To learn more about the Virginia Army National Guard, check out Join VA Guard on Facebook and Instagram, or email us at nationalguard@liberty.edu. That's nationalguard@liberty.edu. So honestly, fourth, I'm
Whoa, wait. Sorry, hold on. We're bearing the lead
what are
here,
you
Annie. Come on
leading
now.
into me
What
for?
are we doing? What we doing? All 5 teams were in action, but bigger news happened this weekend.
Yeah.
Let them know, Annie. That's right.
Yeah, show the camera.
I don't know how close the camera can get.
Yeah,
That's right.
Get someone to zoom in.
I'll zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that in post.
That's right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so it was a great weekend. I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't up to date with Liberty Hockey this weekend.
That's right, yeah.
What's going on. But still, I was going to say, fourth, I'm pretty impressed that you showed up today because you had a long road trip. Like, how are we feeling?
Yeah, good. I took yesterday off, so I'm pretty recovered. So
Pretty recovered.
feel fresh and ready for the pod.
Okay, good. Good to hear. I know we have like 2 kind of colds going on here
That's
between
right.
the 2 of you, but
It's okay.
powering through.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's
For the
start
pod.
Yeah, for the
That's
pod.
right.
Let's start with our men's Division 1 team. A lot of hype going into this series. I think after game 1, we were all like, oh boy. Game 2, though, it was amazing to see the reaction, the response, and they've turned the tables on Adriane. So I guess starting with Pat, I mean, great weekend for the special teams. What are your takeaways from that Adriane series?
I think that's the biggest thing, right? You had like a huge weekend with the special team. 5 power play goals on the weekend. All the goals you scored in game 1 were on the power play. Then you were able to bring that over to game 2, clicked, and had a very solid showing. And I think, too, the bounce back, too, like, you have a really bad game 1, like all across the board, unfortunately, except for the power play. That looked really well. But across the board, you didn't really, they seemed out of sync. Adriane really kind of dictated the pace from the jump. First shot went in over Couch. So that's obviously not the sign you want to be able to start. And then, I think for Liberty, great response. Great to make those adjustments in game 2. And, come away with not only a good win, but a decisive win. And I've heard Kerr and Forth talk about it, like makes that road trip a lot easier on the way back to win game 2, especially in the fashion you did against a number 2 team and a rival too. So great job. And then again, another game where you had multiple guys contribute on the scoring end, which I think is always huge. When Liberty continues to show that community scoring, that's going to be a huge strength for them consistently throughout this year. And it was, again, evident on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the scores are maybe a little bit inflated as far as the gap in each game, because even watching some of each game, the pace and possession of the puck didn't really dictate those big scores. I think maybe the goaltenders on each night maybe didn't have their best stuff.
Right.
Obviously, not our Birdstein, I thought played great that second day, which is great to see him get the start.
Heck yeah.
But I think this is kind of this year, like a 3-2, 4-3 versus Adriane is probably where those games should have been. But I thought even in the first game, they didn't look out of place. It was more like, hey, we get a few chances, they come down, score.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games that you're trying your best, but you're just not going to get out of that hole. But like you said, special teams were good, and I was impressed with the discipline overall in the entire weekend. In an emotional, fast-paced game and against a good team like Adriane, obviously there's the conversation of the 5-minute major. I think, the guy's, maybe he's got to call that, but that was not a dirty intent to injure by any means. But again, like you said, great weekend for the guys, and it was really cool to see them be in the same rink as the number 2 team and be just as good or better in a lot of things.
Yeah, and also before I hand it to you, Kerr, down a lot of bodies, especially in
game 2.
Like no Feimster, Fisher. Then on the offensive side, you lose Barker for that third period. No Smith or Seth Wall. They really persevered, especially in game 2.
Yeah, I got a lot of interesting messages of just the the report from the weekend, which for certain violations we're going to talk about. But I kind of just wanted to get your opinion, Coach Forth. Like, how do weekends like that happen? How do you get how do you split a series where not the best game one and then come out and play so well game two? Do you experience that often as a coach, as a team? Is it you go down one real quick and then it just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the game there in game one? What happens? How is that possible? What's going on?
I mean, there's like so many factors, but we had a similar weekend against Delaware 2 weeks ago where we ended up losing 7-2, maybe something like that. But I think the overall message is just like, we're not that team.
Yeah.
We're this other team. And so, and come out that next day and continue to focus on the things you did well, but also you just have to tweak some things that maybe weren't so good. And a couple personnel changes here and there might help. But I think some games you just know, even as a coach, you never say it, like, you're not going to win this one.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the hole just gets deeper and deeper. They're getting bounces, you're not.
Yeah.
Their goaltender's playing good, yours isn't. It's just the reality of hockey. It comes at you fast, but you just have to do your best to stick to what you know and go from there.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. You went to Coach Forth because you guys did have that. You lost 7-3, but then you won the next day 8-2.
Yep.
Right. So that's interesting.
And again, I've mentioned that too. Like, we are not 6 goals better, I don't think, than Delaware.
Right.
And they're definitely not 5 goals better than us. It's a bit of goaltending on both nights for that night, and just some bounces. But I think in the end, this weekend and our weekend, I think Liberty for men's is the better team. Yeah. And I think our team was the better team versus Delaware. So it's like, those are the things, like, as a coach and as players, like, hey, we can hang your hat on that. Like, yeah, we got thumped one day, but the next day we responded well and kind of proved to ourselves.
I always go back to when I was first working here and I just didn't understand hockey. Everyone on the broadcast, everyone around the rink would always say, great teams always respond. So they score a goal, a great team will always come down and within 5 minutes, it seems like, get that goal back. It sort of seems. So happy to see a game 2 response in that, just to let us know kind of where we're at. But as I look at the overall season so far, I just think it's interesting we really haven't put together 120 minutes, 2 games of good hockey yet. Right, we haven't had any just dominating 2-game series yet. It's kind of just something we need to find out. What was sort of our identity. Maybe losing that game 1 was kind of a good wake-up call for game 2 to get everyone sort of dialed in of okay, we know how we need to execute. We know we need to do this. And hopefully with this weekend off of games, that's only helpful to rest the body, heal up, but then have really good, clear focus and direction as we prepare for Stony Brook.
Yeah, I think Stony Brook could be a series where hey, maybe it's the first time we put together those 2 complete hockey games. But like you said, impressive where, hey, your first loss of the season to a really big team, the best team you've taken on all year, your first major test, you lose it in a big way, and then the response you have after that, even with all your guys down, it's got to be encouraging for this group and all their young additions as well, but also something that encourages me. I know we already talked about special teams, but I feel like this year, it's a big step to be able to go against a team like Adriane, where it's they have amazing penalty killers. They got a great power play, and you see the way that you can perform. That's something that can take your team to the next level nationally. Yeah,
and I think that's the big thing, right? I remember we got posed the question earlier the year, what's it going to take for Liberty to make it to the Final Four again and then beyond? So we also talked about one of the key aspects were going to be special teams. We knew the power play was going to be good, even though it hadn't been clicking. The movement that we saw, that's the part that really encouraged us. Just weren't going in the back of the net. It's good to see it come to fruition this weekend and actually them being able to pot a bunch. I think it's multiple guys contributing. Got to give credit to Mike DeBrito, right? He had a fantastic, very quiet 5-point weekend, right? I'm sure, that's the kind of weekend you expect out of him. I know DeBrito is a great goal scorer, but I think his playmaking is going to another level. And Kerr touched on him, and along with Cocksmith and other guys, worked really hard this offseason DeBrito, I know I saw a lot this summer, so like good to see him have like a big weekend as the year continues to progress. Like you're going to lean on a guy like him consistently, not just to put goals in the back of the net, but also provide that extra playmaking. And then again, like I feel like each weekend we're talking about someone new really being the spark for this group. Monroe also, he had 3 goals this weekend, right? Like he's getting more comfortable. You know, he's got a great shot, and love the way that he was able to score consistent in game 2. He had 2 deflects, right? 2 goals that got redeflected and back in the net. That's kind of what you want to see from him, parking in the right spot in the slot. So yeah, just a lot of really good things going for this group, especially on the man advantage. And then more consistently, again, keep hammering this home, but that community scoring, that's going to be big for them in the long run.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels like a good time to have the weekend off as well, because remember, Liberty, they start so much earlier than a ton of other
Crazy. Oh, yeah.
That first semester, a lot harder on the body. So, Kerr, how crucial do you feel like this week is to, hey, we're going to reset, then we're going to attack the second part of the semester?
Yeah, no, I like it. And credit to Coach Handy, as he's always putting schedules together. If you're ever in his office, he's always wheeling and dealing on the phone there, calling different people. But having a little bit of a break right here is massive, especially around kind of, fall break just ended. It's almost like the semester's half over. I always look to the tournaments around the league right before Thanksgiving, right? Those 3-game series is whether it's in Chicago or St. Louis, you always have crazy upsets there. And I think that's when like people just start to break down, right? They mentally start to check out. They know they're about to have a break or school's getting tough. And then they're looking forward to winter break in the college schedule. So being able to have that and have that reset, I think will only help us finish strong in the fall. And everybody always talks about the spring semester, obviously because it's leading into nationals, but the rankings that come out of the fall really help determine what your spring will be and what it will look like. And every game matters. So having that little bit of a reset mentally, physically, catch up on any video that you need to have, let other teams play so you can get more video on them. I think it's a really good move that we haven't done before, right? Like I don't remember too many breaks mid-October. So I think it's a good call.
Yeah, and I think back to years past, like when Liberty typically, I mean, I'm just thinking like past 4 years or so, however long I've been here, I feel like the little tournament series before Thanksgiving has generally been a good one for Liberty. Like they've performed well.
Yeah.
I think back to last season when they beat Minot there, and like Hayden DeMars is saying that's the moment where our line really
started to click.
And carried us through the rest of the semester. So yeah, tons of benefits to being the more well-rested team when you prioritize rest in the way that they do. So it's going to be fun. Stony Brook after the bye week, and then you'll have Niagara and then Jamestown, who you played at Nationals last season. So lots of fun stuff to look forward to for this team. And it was just a ton of fun to watch them play against one of the top dogs in the ACHA again. So yeah, so the first computer ranking comes out this week.
No, the first computer ranking comes out first full week of November.
So November? What?
Yeah, so there's still, I believe,
collecting that data.
Yeah, I think there are 3 more coach rankings. So basically the entire month of October is all coaches poll.
Okay.
So yeah, we won't see a big jump really in the rankings until that first November one. So that will be very interesting because basically
it's always the best. You're like, what?
Yeah. I mean,
where'd Utah go? They were 10 and now they're 25.
Yeah, outside of those first couple weekends, Liberty's literally playing everyone that's been ranked, and most of those opponents made nationals last year. So like the schedule, even Stony Brook right now, they're currently a top 25 team. So yeah, everyone consistently for Liberty, it's not going to get any easier. Like you're just going to keep getting some really good competition as the year builds.
Yeah, I'm just looking at. You just reminded me of Utah playing UNLV this past weekend.
And they
happened there.
UNLV won both 3-1.
Okay.
And I think they won game 1 with the empty netter. Second game they won 3-1 handedly. So like tight game for them. Minot State also played Jamestown. They split. So that was an interesting matchup. Battle of Dakota. And then Ohio did really probably best showing out of everyone. They were able to take out Maryville twice. So and had a pretty good solid showing. So like I think for Ohio that's got to be really good for them, taking out a top 10 team, because I think we all know Maryville's going to be there at the end of the year in the top 10, probably another quarterfinal appearance, and they're looking to get even further. So, the fact that Ohio beat them twice in their own barn, too.
Yeah,
a lot.
that's huge. Yeah. What about, I'll test your knowledge here, Pat. How many players did UNLV lose at the end of last year?
I think they lost 7 or 8.
7 or 8 guys?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for UNLV, they lost arguably one of the best D-men. Their captain, I believe his name's Damatis.
Okay.
I can't say
it's Demars.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
But then they also lost their starting goaltender that was the tournament MVP. So those are the two big losses. Now they still retained a lot of senior
because they scored in bunches last year. So obviously goaltending and defense is a big part of that. But
and they had same thing like Liberty, a lot of community scoring, and they return a lot of that community scoring.
Yeah.
But they did lose some key guys that helped propel them to that national championship.
So that obviously Utah, I don't know. Obviously, that second night they had a better showing against Liberty, but you see that 3-1 against the reigning champs. Right. It's pretty encouraging, I think, across the league, and to kind of see that hey, this 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 at the top is anyone's game. Right. And this season, it's what do we have to do to be that team at the end to hold the trophy? So it's really encouraging weekend across the board early in the season.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, you want to try to do what you can to get the best seeding going into the nationals. Because, obviously that's so key, right? Home change is the biggest part, right? How key is that? Also, too, even though it's unintentional, how many times do the home team get more of the calls, typically in those fashions, just because, and it's not, again, intentional, but just that natural home bias that happens, right?
Yep.
Try to lean towards the home team and the higher ranked team, give them more of the call. So it's all about going into the highest seeding you could possibly get there.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know we want to move on to women's D1 in a second, but I guess just thinking about the teams around the ACHA, if we could just go around real quick and take Liberty out of it, who do you think is going to be the toughest test this year? Because when I first think of it, I think Ohio, because I think of the scoring that they're returning. I feel like Laker Aldridge and Luke Reeve have been there for forever, but they're still there. And I just
did they get the COVID package?
Probably.
Well, this would be their 4th year.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But they're gonna get. Remember, last year was kind of a wreck for them. No home rink. Just brought in their new head coach.
That's very true.
Barry Shute, he seems like he really knows what he's doing with this program. He's a great coach. So they're my team.
I would say it's them and Minot. Obviously, I think Minot consistently has proven to be the number 1 team. And I think by the time Liberty plays them in December, they're going to be the number 1 team. I think how the computer ranking is just going to work out. If they play so many games, their schedule's so tough, they're going to be number 1. So that's going to be a big test to end the semester. And then, like you said, Ohio, you got them. You go to Ohio, and then you host Ohio as your final 4 games of the year. That's a big test, too, going into nationals. So, really, you're getting them at both ends, and Ohio should be clicking on all cylinders, and so should Liberty. So those are the 2 tests I think Liberty right now really need to be excited about for this upcoming year.
Yeah.
I'll call out UNLV's website. I'm just trying to look at their roster. Trash.
Brutal.
It's they don't even have the numbers on there. And if I read it, it looks like they have 50 men on their roster. It's just number 1 through 50. I don't know what's going on there. So
now, I will say a lot of teams house a lot more guys than our teams typically do. So I will say that. So there's a chance they probably do have 30-some guys on that team.
Yeah, that would be quite a bit. But I go with the X factor that Annie just mentioned with Ohio of being able to practice consistently, have some home games. I think that'll help them. Just kind of word it that way. But yeah, we'll see as we eventually start playing them throughout the year. Yeah, that'd be my choice.
Yeah, I like that choice, but I'd say the Rebels, just because just learning that they haven't lost a ton of people up front, and the fact that they can score in bunches. I'll stick with the Rebels on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they seem like a program too that obviously has their sights set on NCAA Division I.
Yep.
Gives them, I feel gives their head coach another gear to try to push as far as recruiting goes and everything. So we move along to our women's Division I team, who is ruling the ACHA right now. It's hard to gauge just because you wonder how much of this is just competition they're facing. It was Rhode Island's first series of the semester, their first game. They're facing the reigning champs, but also
tough. That's tough.
But Liberty beats them 8-0, 14-0.
What a long trip for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's just and this is the difference too. Going back to the men in game 1 and game 2, they were able to dominate the offensive zone and puck possession. Lady Flames were all over them, right? And puck possession, like 173-21 in shots for both teams. Like that's stupid.
It's insane,
right? Like that's crazy. Like credit Coach Forth. He knew he must have pulled out his crystal ball. He was like, "No, I expected to be 19-0 again, maybe worse." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, he wasn't wrong. Like ladies, basically, and like credit Coach Lowe's too. Like I'm sure some teams are like, "Hey, dial it back." He's like, "Nope, keep going. We're working some stuff out. I want to keep building to what the end goal is, and like that's what you have to do." And it's not fun for a team like Rhode Island, unfortunately, but that's what you have to do to build. Especially they play another game this weekend, then they go on the road versus Adriane, then host Maryville. Like those are the 2 big series that they're gearing up for this upcoming year. So
yeah.
And
heck, I mean, they were even mixing people around forwards and D.
I was gonna say, I know. I had an insider look of like, they're doing that, and like, okay, guys, everybody touches the puck twice on the ice before you can go and shoot. But
man,
it's. I mean, those are tough games. Those are tough weekends, and to be honest, that's why a few years ago when Chris and I were coaching together, it was kind of like Rhode Island wants to come. We don't even want them to come. Like, no offense, but like a weekend like this is almost more hindering to your season than playing these games. Like, would a weekend off would have been maybe more beneficial. But obviously there's the issue with the minimum amount of games and the different number of competitors. So, of course, if a team wants to come and get thumped like that, you welcome them with open arms.
I'll say this, even though these past couple weekends have really gone our way, just listening in and watching practice, like these girls aren't slowing down anytime soon. Coach Lowe's was getting on them for just like the small little details. And I think that's important because just is what it is from this past weekend, and looking forward to this next weekend with Lindenwood coming in. Maybe is what it is, right? Not the toughest matchups. So that's when things really start to get sloppy. And that's when you can really start to think like you're a little sweet or whatever else there. So having him consistently stay on the team, that's just the mark of like, good coaching or whatever else that we want to call it. So yeah, great job from this weekend. Pad the stats a little bit, switch things up, try some things out. But all in all, I think we kind of just keep building towards the Adriane away games, and I think we're on the road for Niagara after as well. Again, not overlooking Lindenwood, just kind of is what it is, what's coming down the pipe here. So another weekend or two, and then really starts to get wild. Looking forward to that.
Now, with my kind of like historians here, when's the last time you've seen a women's D1 team look this good this early? Like, I feel like they have looked on top of it since the moment they stepped on the ice this season. Has it looked like this in your guys' eyes? Is this like, hey, another year's stuff, or is it a different level this season?
Yeah, I would feel like it's just a different level, right? Like, and so like, I feel like each year I feel like we get that question consistently, right? Like each year you're like, oh man, it's been a while since I've seen them look this good, or like, oh, it's been crazy for them to start the year off looking so strong. But yeah, I just feel like right now they're just on another level. I think we returned a very seasoned group, so like that's huge, right? And then you added some very strong pieces to the group, and the transfers have ACHA experience at a top level.
Yes,
that helps as well. So like then they kind of integrated to the culture seamlessly. The transfers and the newcomers. So, yeah, I just think right now they're just at a level right now that they haven't achieved, and probably in their mind they feel like it's not good enough yet. Because but they're also looking further down the road of what the ultimate goal is. But like Coach Kerr just said, trying to get better every game, trying to continue to refine those little details and just push the pace. So like, I mean, for me, honestly, I haven't seen a team look this good probably to start the year.
I said something today to them. We record here on Tuesday. Our football team plays tonight, and the girls are going out on the field to be recognized.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of said, like, hey, take a moment to sort of realize how special this is. I know we win so often that sometimes it doesn't seem like it. And I know every week after week we kind of talk about how great they're doing, whatever else, you get used to it. But it is very, very special. And then, what we try to do as a college hockey program. These girls aren't going to play professional hockey the rest of their life. They're going to kind of move on. So just the fact that they can come here, they're going to have coaches that keep them accountable, get the most out of them. They'll understand what great leadership is, what great leadership from a team is, working together as a unit to achieve goals. Like, it's really cool. It's really, really special. And then, I don't think this year is particularly anything too crazy or too different. Culturally, this team's been the same since like 2019, 2020 season of like, no, we're just going to work our butts off day in and day out. High effort, high focus. I don't need to be, motivated by external factors or other people. I'm going to come in and I'm going to get better today.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing. But too, like, we're nasty. Like, just no other way to put it.
Well, kind of like you said, Pat, the biggest thing for this is they have very few brand new freshmen that like haven't played in the league.
Right.
It's Moses, it's Emma
McDonald.
Yeah,
that's
Is
it.
that it?
That's it.
Like, that's it. And like you said, they've had Padam Shan, who's been in the league for 4 years. Shaw's been in the league for 4 years and won a championship with Adriane.
Right.
And like, they've seen and been a part and played against and felt that feeling to play against Liberty. Mm-hmm. So they are more than excited to come in and be a part of something that they know is special and they've seen.
Yeah.
So as far as this team, because like, you even look at like a goalie like Alex Keith, like, she's the clear number one this year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Years past, it's been like is it Story? Is it Keith? Is it Story? Is it Keith? Is it Rupali? Is it Kerr?
Yeah. Not me.
Going from down there, but the couple teams that stand out to me would be like the 2020 season that got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah,
we were pretty good. We had some young girls, but we had like Truder, and I think that was Val Manchek's first year.
Yep.
So we were pretty stacked on that end. And then 21 was good at Minot. But I think this team is like miles ahead.
Yeah.
But
Well, obviously a great showing from them. Also, our women's Division 2 team had quite the road trip.
Come on now.
Going 4-0 on the weekend, or Thursday through Sunday is what it was. I mean, Cora Williams, 9 goals over the weekend. Pretty insane. I mean, Klein also with 5 goals. They were rolling, and I know that we were talking about the week before, like last week, like this is going to be a tough one just in the scope of all this travel. You're playing some good teams, especially when you look at Lawrence Tech in the middle. Like, those were the big games you were looking at.
Yeah.
Game 1 is kind of a nail biter, 4-3 in OT. But game 2, 7-0. Forrest, could you just like shed some insight into what you saw specifically from those 2 games that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think we were the better team in both of those, but the
Lawrence Tech games. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, those 2 middle games. But I think we just made mental errors, and we kind of played down to their level in a sense of like, we didn't really make sure that we were first to those pucks. And defensively, we weren't overly sound at times. And they had one girl that's a stud. Like, she's almost like a 2-goal per game player the last 2 seasons. And again, we kind of got sucked into that, playing their style, and there were some missed calls. Anyway, like, we were up 3-0. And then they came and scored 3 in the third. We were up.
Wow.
And I remember we had a timeout because they took one. We were up 3-1 with 8 minutes left. And you give the generic speech of like, here's a few things we want to do to preserve this, and then we didn't. So they ended up tying it up. We go into overtime.
Bad cop.
Yeah.
I thought he said don't do those things.
And so we go in to overtime. And we gave up a breakaway in overtime. They hit the post. We pick up the puck and come down
3-on-3.
Yep. So like, it's super exciting, and like, I mean, we were rewarded with what I felt like we deserved to win that game. But it's also nice to say like, hey guys, we can't just play half-heartedly for 60 minutes and run over teams.
Right.
So that next game we were a lot better and a lot more sound, and then also we executed at a higher level.
Yeah.
But it was a good weekend. West Virginia has a nice new rink, so that was good.
Yeah, how was that?
It was great. Yeah, it was nice. Lights are bright. There's no mold in the corners. There's showers and sinks in the locker room. So girls were spoiled. Yeah, it was really good. 5-1 against them was good. A good result. I think if we potted a couple more, it'd be a little bit better. But there was no doubt in that game. And then Adriane, I think, was probably the best team that we played against, just as far as. They had no top-end talent like Lawrence Tech did, but I thought our game, like initiating those battles, engaging in those 50-50 pucks, we did a lot better. And then obviously, you know, Cora started us off with a couple goals, and then we just kind of patted our way there.
Can you talk about Cora Williams real quick? Like, obviously, yeah.
I don't want to jinx it, so no.
Yeah. Well, I have to. So, like, yeah, literally 19 goals in 8 games so far in AHA play.
It's
so she's already scored more goals than she had all of last year. Like, what's been the difference? Because I know.
Yeah, talk about your player development.
A couple other players that you like wanted to challenge this offseason about getting better. So, like, what's been the difference in her this season?
So obviously
outside of the A.
Yeah, right. So I think she's someone who's a natural leader. She's let's say I'll put her in that category of like she's the hardest worker in practice. She doesn't have a bad day, which maybe that's not fair to say, but like you know exactly what you're going to get out of her. She wants to score, and I think she's now starting to believe that like, hey, I can control a game with my play. And I think she's honestly, as crazy as it sounds, she's stopping on more pucks. She's engaging in more puck battles, and she's doing less floating over here.
Yeah.
And she's getting in the muck and being F1, creating that. She scored 2 power play goals this weekend, I think, and a shorthanded goal. Like, she hunted a puck down, won a battle against 2 players and a goalie, and then came and tucked for a shorthanded goal. So, like, she's not afraid to then now be that player to go and get that puck. And again, I think it's just like she's now older and stronger, being in her 3rd year. And I think everything's honestly just gelling at the right time. And again, kudos to Rena for recruiting this class so she's got more players to play with, right? And so like there's maybe other people are opening areas up on the ice too. Right. So good. Like you said, she's a stud, and knock on wood, let's just keep this rolling. Yeah. So, and I mean, as a coach, you see a player like that and you think to yourself, and I'm sure you've had it in the weight room and you've seen it, like, why the heck are they not scoring more? Like, they should score 50 goals this season. And it's like they got 13 at the end of the year, and you're like, what on earth is happening? Again, so it's really nice to see a player like that you see has that potential actually like living it out currently.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on player development? Anything specifically or special you feel like in the last 2-3 years during practices have just helped? Like, it seems like every year you kind of have a breakout player.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like right now, and honestly, like she's the one we yell at the most.
Yeah.
Like, because again, it stems back not even just her as a hockey player, but her as a person. You can tell her, like, hey, you're doing this wrong, do it better. And she'll, okay, coach. Like, she's not going to go in the corner and cry and think you're being too hard on her.
Yeah.
Not that other players are, but like, you know, you can tell her exactly what you want and that she will, like, try to be better at it. And so I think just even her being open to feedback just kind of just goes to show the type of player that she is. So,
yeah, there you go. And that's to what Coach Lowe's was talking about in a drill today of, hey, I need every pass that you're receiving on your forehand. Blows the whistle after like 3 reps. Like, if I can't trust you to listen and execute a forehand, pass, receiving a forehand pass, how am I going to trust you in big games in February? Yeah. Right? It's kind of laying it out there. And it was
I like that.
Oh, whoa, I better.
Yeah. Coach, I was going to do all backhands in February.
Yeah, I better focus now. So little things like that, like college athletes, especially for where we're at here at Liberty, like they're here for specific reasons and they want to play, they want to be coached, they want to be competitive.
Yep.
You just can't ever forget that.
Yep. And I will say this weekend, like our defensemen as a group, as a core, took, I think, leaps and bounds as far as also like puck movement and being confident in what they're doing. But also I have to like mention Calista Klein. She's got 5 goals in 4 games, right? Obviously, it's a little bit overshadowed by 9.
A big dynamic playmaker, right?
Well, and like someone like Cora and Calissa have proven this year, like we will count on them this season, and they've delivered every single game. Whether it's Cora's 2 goals a game and Calissa's 1, but they're there. They're the the cornerstone of our offense, and they've really been doing their job.
And defensively, 4 goals in 4 games, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
You'll take that every day.
Yep. Yep. And again, it's like you look at the film, you're like, it's not good enough. But they are doing a lot of good things, and they're learning, and the biggest thing is they're trying to improve each game. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, keep building.
Totally.
Love
It's
it.
fun to see, and you guys will hit the road next and face Maryland. Last year, you guys beat them 3-0 in the one meeting you had. Any initial thoughts on that game, pair of games?
Yeah, I think just based off the video from our last game, just tweak some things and obviously just hone in the defensive side of the puck a lot. But yeah, we go into these weekends and not really knowing who they lose or who's coming in.
Yeah.
So I expect to be good competition, and hopefully we get 2 more wins.
Nice. We can't wait to see it. Now we move on to the men's Division 2 side, which, Pat, we were on the call on Thursday. It was, Lindenwood's coming into town.
Yeah.
And that's a daunting task as it is. I think game 1 from...
Okay, moving on to men's D3. I'm just kidding. Lord forgive me. I'm just joking. I shouldn't.
Well, game 1, I mean, it was clear that I think what I took away from that game is that, in this series in total, this D2 program is obviously a work in progress, you know, and that's something we've known this entire season. But I think, especially even from talking with Coach Garland prior to the games and hearing what his vision is for this team, it's encouraging because he's like, I'm expecting this right now. I'm not expecting us to go up there and be toe-to-toe with the former national champions. I understand what's gone on this season, and he's also trying to, the players who are on the team, he's trying to transform their game in certain ways and being like, I'm trying to build my own identity for this program. So with that, there's going to be growing pains. I think you can tell on the ice there that a lot of those guys, it's their first year of college hockey.
Yeah.
Some of them are true freshmen out there playing against, Lindenwood had 6'5" forwards. Those guys are huge.
Yeah, they had some big bodies out there.
Yeah, so I think you can tell communication was off, a lot of bad decision making. They were in it going into the third period of game 1.
Yeah, they were.
Well, and even game 2, right? You're down 4-1. You're still in this thing.
Right,
for sure.
Yeah, and I think it was 2-1 after the first in game 2. So kind of wheels just gradually fell off.
Yeah, 40 minutes in each game, right? There's a lot of positive.
Yeah.
But like you said, in the end, the wheels fell off a little bit. But if you can really cling to those positive aspects of it, I think there's room for growth moving forward. And again, this weekend, they've got VTech in town.
Yeah.
Or is it a home and home?
Home and home.
Yeah. So that's a great weekend, right? Okay, let's see the things we've been working on and actually get 2, I think, commanding wins this weekend against VTech, who is a good team. But I think Liberty's the way better team, top to bottom. And I think if they just play their game and execute the systems that they've been working on, I think they come away with 2 wins this weekend.
Yeah, I was thinking I think these are 2 similar. What Coach Ford just said. I'd be surprised if Liberty doesn't win both games this weekend. Not because VTech is not good enough, but I think Liberty kind of has an idea now of what it takes. And I think this past weekend they saw hey, we are not playing even close to what's good enough, right? So game 1 too, I won't lie, I said it on the call, hey, Liberty at times I felt was lacking intensity, right? I can't remember his last name. He had a name that I couldn't pronounce. 12 on Lindenwood, right? Whistle blows, shoots the puck in our net.
Yes.
No one gets in his face. And I said it on the calls, someone should be cross-checking that guy right now.
Respectfully.
Yes, obviously. But to set the tone and even though you get that penalty, you're okay with that penalty.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes you're lacking the intensity and physicality, and I'm sure people will have a different take of what I say, but I'm no, that's a thing you can't let happen. Also too, I think adding Cooper Fredericks, he's going to be a big time playmaker for this team. I loved what I was seeing from him in his first bit of action. You could tell, had some good speed, great shot. Got his 2 first points in game 2. So that's huge. I think also, too, if you can get Farmer going again, I think his production, unfortunately, has kind of dipped a little. You got to find a way to try to get him going because, he's a big-time playmaker for this team. So, and I think this is a good series to try to get him. And then some of your other seasoned veterans, too. Not that he's a newcomer, but, the seasoned veterans, get them going as well. So, yeah, hopefully Liberty comes away with 2 big wins, and then it's going to pay dividends. It's start finding your identity, what the team you're going to be throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it, like Cooper Fredericks joining the group for the first time this season. He's someone that's going to make that top line better. Like Mark Padgett, you could tell, hasn't had the start to the season that I'm sure he would have liked to based on his numbers from the past. But with the way they work together, like Padgett had a productive weekend and so did Fredericks, and hopefully that's a combination that grows and they all make each other better. But also I think it's fun to look at that, hey, they're going to face Lindenwood 2 other times in this regular season this year. So you can use that as a measuring stick for, hey, how much have we grown? You know, first series, it wasn't pretty. I know coaching staff probably didn't expect it to be pretty, honestly.
Right. Yep.
But you know that you're going to see these teams more throughout the year, and you can measure based off that. Because, in all honesty, like the landscape of getting nationals has changed with no more auto bid for Division II. So you're trying to get to regionals, and from there, like
it's anyone's game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm glad they played them a couple more times, because I think this was a weekend where it's like, okay, we are not comfortable being hemmed in our zone. Right. So talking to Coach Garland of like, hey, a team like Lindenwood will probably possess the puck more than you, which it's just kind of the reality.
Yeah.
And you just have to get comfortable and be really good in the D zone and then strike when you can.
Right.
So again, like they'll have an opportunity to obviously right these wrongs later in the season, but just looking at the whole game and just trying to find those aspects of, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. Is it Friday they're at home and Saturday?
Friday they're at home,
Tech?
Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around,
Yeah.
but I guess they switched it because they originally played Friday there, then Saturday here in the first series. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, that'll be a fun pair of games to watch. Excited to
Yep.
keep our eye on the progression of this men's D2 program. And then we're going to close out here with men's Division 3. They end up taking down Elon 8-4. Any thoughts on what we saw from our men's D3 program?
I mean, I think for them, it's great that you're able to get show that big type of scoring, right? Like get 8 goals anytime you do that. You know, the offensive clicking. I don't think they probably like giving up 4 versus Elon. So like that's something they've got to work on, tighten up that defensive structure, right? Like I feel like in that game probably it's more of an actual 8-2, 8-1 game probably, except for a couple breakdowns and miscues on Liberty's part. So like want to tighten things up defensively so you can just be better. But again, very talented and dynamic program that they have built. So kudos to Coach Wagner, especially. This is another program that lost so many guys heading into this season, so you didn't know where they would stand. So the fact that he's able to revamp the team a little and still be kind of thumping teams like this is pretty impressive for them.
I would agree there, Pat. Of defensively, I don't want to see 4 goals getting left, getting let in when we're playing Elon. If you could score 8, you shouldn't be letting in 4. So I think back to like start of the year, yes, we were extremely excited about the skill and the talent that we're bringing in, but defensively, you can't win games in the biggest games of the year if you're letting in 3-4 goals.
Right.
So we need to, as you know, they're still very young in the season and very young as a team, but as we keep progressing, I need to see that kind of tightened up a little bit. Not allowing 4 goals in a not close game.
Yeah.
Just not something I love to see, but I will comment on the culture as far as it goes, and where this team has come of. They play, they have their fall break. They play Sunday, and then they worked out yesterday on Monday. And not a single person in the weight room said, "Oh, well, we played yesterday," or "Oh, I'm sorry, tired," or "Oh, I'm sore." They just knew like it's Monday. We show up and we put the work in.
Right.
Yeah,
So just having that of like my coaching perspective. That's unbelievable. And that's the culture you need as you move towards, the latter half and meatier end of your schedule here in the fall. So great on that side. And then let's continue to tighten things up defensively.
Yeah, did Elon have any major studs that you noticed?
No, not that I noticed.
Okay.
Like obviously, I mean,
The boys, the boys did say there was 1 or 2 players,
One or
but
two guys.
not enough to connect the
But
whole
not
line.
one guy that's like, hey, he scored all 4. He's real good.
No, it's not like
Okay.
in years past where we've seen like one guy like take over the whole game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
What in the
who is
Yeah,
this guy?
yeah, I know. You just never know at that level. Like, oh, he transferred
for
from
sure.
Maine because
Like High Point
His
has a
sister goes to
guy
school at
who's on
Elon.
the D2 team. He was on their D3 team a couple years ago. I think his name is Slater.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
he literally took over. We split that weekend. Game 1, he took it over. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? And so he's still on their team now.
And which team?
High Point.
Oh, yeah.
Where he came from, because I did play-by-play.
Oh, yeah, you did. And you did a story on him. You're right.
Yeah, and I was like, man, gosh, where was he from? I'm trying to remember, but it was just, it was
He was from a good hockey background.
Yeah.
But he went to High Point because they had the major he wanted.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes guys like that, or girls, like, you can't contain them. But as a coach, it's often frustrating. You're like,
Right.
we literally just spent 3 minutes talking about the one player on their team, and they have 4 points. Like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Right.
Yeah.
I think maybe in a game like that, it's 8-4. I don't know when the goals were happening, but you're pretty excited. Like, we can kind of score at will. Therefore, the D side of things just takes a back seat. But
That's what's so tough about hockey is with, forwards constantly shifting and, hopping over the boards and all that. It's hard to keep track of everybody unless it's a controlled face-off situation versus like a basketball or a lacrosse. There have been multiple times where we're playing a team. The coach is like, okay, just stand right in front of them. And you're just like in their face for the entire game.
Yeah.
They only score 12 points, right? Like it's a lot harder to do that in the sport of hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just thinking about getting in their face and they still cook you. And you get like 30. So, I'm trying.
When I was in college, I coached a 7th, 8th grade lacrosse team.
Yeah.
And this kid, like, all right, all we have to do is shut down Joey on the other team. And, like, I want you to stand face to face with him. Like, your face mask against his the entire game. I don't care. That's all I want. When the kid scored the 3rd goal, I was like, go stand. I yelled his name so loud. I was so mad. And it was Mason. I was like, all these parents hate me now. I was, Mason!
That's funny.
Just stand in front of it. Like, don't let him get the ball.
It reminds me
so
of
easy.
the meme or whatever on Instagram about Ryan Gosling, because obviously he's popular. It's like, hey, ladies, you don't remember when he was an absolute liability for the Titans at
I
quarterback.
remember the Titan. It's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, Petey Jones had to come in.
So next up, Liberty men's D3 is going to take on William and Mary. I was trying to do some digging. I looked all the way back to 2018. I haven't seen any matchups against.
No, it's been a while since they played the Pride. So, because they were supposed to place a team this weekend in those series.
Yes.
Again, like we said, Josh Wagner's had to be a magician with the schedule. Canceled on him. They were supposed to host the event, but now, they're off for the weekend and have to wait till then. But it's been a while since we played William and Mary. I feel like, I'm trying to think, maybe back when we were in the CHE, so pre-COVID, this might be the last time we played them. It's been a long time, so.
Yeah. Wow, so just looking at the schedule this weekend, no men's
Pretty
D1,
light,
no
yeah.
men's D3. You have women's D1 at home, one men's D2 game at home, and then women's D2 on the road. So, yeah, really fun ones to watch. But until then, guys, thanks so much for watching the Rock the Rink podcast, and we'll see you next time.